I'm gonna upload this, I'm sure, later. So what's up, whoever's watching this? Uh, this is Kenny Rockmon, and roll my windows up. So I get the news and stuff about not Facebook, about current events and stuff related to child support. So this is a story out of Atlanta. This is Atlanta Black Star reported this. So there's a gentleman, a father out of Georgia, and he was pulled over. And he was pulled over because allegedly he had a busted tail light. But they ran his license and said that his license was suspended, allegedly. And it was for owing child support. Well, he was riding with his proof, like receipts to show he already paid it in full. The cops didn't even bother to look at his paperwork. His name is Dewan Greer. And this is Hall County Sheriff's deputies. They didn't even look at his paperwork to show, hey, I already paid this. They arrested him and they took him to jail. Well, when they got him there, they dropped him on his head. They dropped this man on his head while he was there in the jail for no reason. They shouldn't even if he had his license suspended or a cracked tailpipe or whatever. They should have wrote him a ticket and sent him on his way, or let him call somebody to come pick him up. But no, they didn't do that. So Greer says the police refused to look at his documentation and took him on to county jail. So when they got him there, they had already edited what they're showing. They edited, of course, the body-worn camera footage. And it showed 6 officers. Why do you need 6 officers for one man? Escorting, he was handcuffed into the hall, into a small cell. And they dropped on the floor onto his head, ordering him to get on his knees. So this is, I'm going to put the link when I get back home. I'm going to put all the links and everything so y'all can watch this shit. So the officers, after they dropped him on his head, they say, oh, and this is a quote, oh, he's bleeding, he's bleeding. Another officer, I thought you had his shoulder. Another one, I thought you had his shoulder. This is another officer said that. Another one, the female officer said, knocked his ass out good. This is over a child support license suspension that he already paid. But when I was reading this, I was like, when you have to write with papers to verify anything, it reminds me of back when freed slaves or slaves on the past to be able to move around had papers. They had to have their paperwork to show where they could move to. Now this man, and this is, that's what I related to. But this is anybody. When you have to have paperwork to show that you're allowed to move around in a free country, is disgusting. And when they refuse to even look at your paperwork to show that you can move around free, is even more disgusting. So said knocked his ass out good. Now remind you, never in this do they say that this man has gotten violent with them, that he was disrespectful to them, that he was anything. So Greer was reportedly knocked unconscious. When he woke up, there was a large knot on this man's eye. So he screamed, somebody take a picture of that blood, while they're escorting him out of the cell. His eye was swollen shut. And to this day, his eye is lazy. And he's thinking about suing. That's what this story is about. He's thinking about suing them. And I'm like, think about, I'd have sued their ass as soon as I was released. But here's the thing about filing a lawsuit after something like this happens. You're already damaged. You're mentally damaged. You're physically damaged. And money can only go so far. Yeah, money will help. But what about you waking up with nightmares and shit like that? Or you know, you just going and riding to the store and you see police sirens, and most people already get nervous when they see the sirens, the police lights come on. Most people just get nervous anyway. When you've had an encounter like that with the police, you freak out. Trust me, I know, you freak the fuck out. So these are the charges that they put on this man when it was all said and done. They said, and his injuries, of course, are long lasting. They said he was charged with driving with a suspended or revoked license, failure to insurance, failure to maintain a lane, issuing a terrorist threat, in a cracked taillight. Remember, they pulled Walter Scott over in South Carolina. They pulled him over, and the cop that pulled him over ended up shooting and killing Walter Scott. And this was over a child support. Well, I don't know if it was more to it with that officer who ended up getting 20 years. But the reason Walter Scott, according to his family, had took off is because he didn't want to go back to jail over child support, you know, over the warrant. So those are all the charges that that he was with. This is again, his name is DeJuan Greer. Those are all the charges that they put on him, and all the charges were dropped. Just like they dropped this poor man on his head in his cell when they took him to jail for no reason. He had a license citation for $200. That's what his family told Atlanta Black Star. But for what? This is all after they figured out that his license was suspended because of owing child support. But he had the paperwork to show I already paid the shit. At that point, they should have looked at the thing. Oh, it must have been a mistake. You can go. So his lawyer says now Mr. Greer suffered multiple permanent injuries at the hands of these officers, and our legal team intends to explore every possible remedy available to the Greers. But why? And this is, so I wanted to share that. It's awful that this happened to Mr. Greer and to his family, because everybody's affected. And so when you look at this, he paid this debt, but he's still paying this debt. So then you think about it, if this child support case is a welfare case, he paid it, but if the mom was on welfare, the state is going to get that money, so his children aren't going to get it. Now he has to walk around with physical ailments because of this debt. So not only is his children benefiting, now he's going to be punished even more. We don't know how many times he's been to jail over the shit. How many times his license has been suspended, how many times he's been garnished, how many times his income taxes have been offset, how many times, you know, over and over. And then this is the end result, and he's paid the shit. And this is in Georgia, of all places. And y'all know I just did those videos about Senator Warnock and, sorry about that, Senator Warnock and Herschel Walker. These guys are going head to head about this seat. And this shit is happening in their backyard, and they are not talking about things like this. This should not happen. These cops should not be pulling people over for a fucking debt, a child support debt that has already been ruled in Georgia unconstitutional, the system. And then when he gets pulled over and shows, here's your paper, here's the paper, sir, the master, here's the paperwork to show I don't owe anything, they don't even look at the shit, and then fuck him up, and then drop the charges. That's bullshit. Why aren't they talking about this? If you're in Georgia and they're up there asking for your vote like they doing, call them and tell them. I'm gonna put this in the link when I get to the crib. Y'all call and tell them, did y'all see this shit? Y'all see what happened to DeJuan Greer? What are y'all gonna do about this if y'all get elected? That's my video. Thank you. I'll talk to y'all as soon as I get back to wherever I should end up. But yeah, this is an impromptu, so I'm not, you know. So I hope I did okay. I didn't have my notes and stuff. I think I do better without notes. So thank y'all for subscribing and liking and sharing and all that good stuff that you guys do. I appreciate it. So as always,